You hearing? Yeah, I was a little late. I hit the streaming button before I hit the send the WhatsApp button. Okay. Well, this might be a shorter one than average, but we'll see. Um, so just update. This is like end of semester time, so it's like super stressful. There's so much work. I don't know. Let's say in the next 2 or 3 weeks, how much episodes I can put out, but I'll try to put out as much as I could. But just looking at the market, it's super red, like being destroyed. So if we just take a look at the market, we're looking at a Bitcoin at 50,000 here, so extreme discounts. Ethereum. Now something interesting I thought I would have mentioned here is like if we look at Ethereum, right? And we come here and we click Bitcoin. We would see historically, look, we're doing super well compared to Bitcoin right now. Like super well compared to in a long time, probably multiple years. So we need to take that into consideration. This might be either Ethereum turning over. Yeah, who knows? So super important to understand. Not sure if anybody else is gonna join us. Yes. Yeah, that is true. So if you just click like let's say 0.0449, that's super. Like we almost at 0.05. That's historic level of Bitcoins. So if we look at the dominance, Bitcoin, Ethereum dominance. That's not. Look at this dominance. Bitcoin just fell off a cliff. I mean, we gotta like see how that goes. It's possible. It's definitely possible. That's how it may go. 2.6 thousand. But look at this chart of Bitcoin. So what that means is just the other coins are just worth so much that it's taken away from Bitcoin shining. But all that just means is a lot of interest in this piece, and a lot of people are getting excited. Interesting to look at. So it just means to me that we're still very healthy in the market, because this entire market capitalization, it's still doing pretty well in terms of all time. In almost a kind of funny way, funny enough. I know we mentioned this before, so we kind of gonna look through it again. I didn't see either price. I didn't see either price. I wouldn't say crash that bad. I think it's pretty. It's still like it's over $1. Although I would say to what you're saying, it below the previous all-time high. So previous all-time high was 1.2. You would expect it to stay above the all-time high. I love to take the previous all-time high into consideration. So funny enough, look at that. After it was called on the pipe-up cycle, it went all the way up to 63, and then it dropped to 48. So you find that kind of funny. We did talk about this. I'm not saying this is the reason why it crashed, but I find it's kind of funny. It did call a all-time high. Funny enough, which was 63,000. If we go back here, we should see Bitcoin had a all-time high of 63,000. Yeah, well 64, but yeah. So maybe you all want to keep that into consideration again. Is it over again? What's the state of it right now? Is around the same right now? I did, yeah. So, you know, maybe we should, every time we see it cross, just wait for it to pump and dump. And just a note, when we look at this indicator and when I keep calling it, and I actually messaged you guys, this was around 59. So when I solid, I'd say 3,000-4,000 up before it crash. You're correct, Aaron. Even though you're the only person in the chat right now supporting the video production, you know, we happy. So, let me pull up our app board, because this is a simple presentation. We kind of just gonna discuss how a crash would happen, right? Especially crash that happened over the past weekend, right? So people would remember that they're like when it immediately dropped from this price all the way down here. I remember being on a video call and I was like, damn, this is a pretty harsh drop for Bitcoin, like what's up? And then essentially what happened is we have China. And the hash rate, so I put the hash per second went down. Right? Now what does hash rate per second went down mean? Remember, when you're mining, you're producing hashes. So one of these miners, you would give it a what you call a nonce. And you'll give it a nonce and you'll give it a block. And then the output of, wow, I was expecting my handwriting to be a little better than that. And then out of that would come a hash. Aaron, you clear with what this is? Like how this works in terms of mining? This is effectively mining. Was a nonce. Okay, so let me spell this better. Well, I mean, it's spelled correctly. It's written terribly. Okay, so if you want to get into a nonce, let me show you what a nonce would be, right? Let's do our online SHA-256 checksum. So text. Okay, so let's say I have Aaron to Varun equal 5, and then I said Varun to Devan equal 3, and and then I said Aaron, because clearly he's a baller in this video, to Devan equals 6, right? So this would be a list of transactions here. Let's consider this a block, right? Now here the problem, when I hash this is what I get. This is what I'm getting, right? So what I could do is I could come down here and call this, let's say, a nonce, right? It doesn't have to be actually labeled nonce, but I'm just showing this for reference, right? And what I want is I want these two numbers here in the start to be made of zeros. So right now I'm going to pretend to be like a manual miner, right? I'm going to manually mine this. So would 1 work? No, 1 didn't work. 2, 3, 4. Now look at this. We're just looking at the number of zeros in your front here. We essentially want at least let's say 2 zeros. So there should be 0, 0, la 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 la. In micro P, we would call her don't cares. So we don't care about the rest of this. We don't care about any of this. All we want is these first two, the leading bits, to be zeros. So let's try 1, no, 2, no, 3, no, 4, no, 5, no, 6, no, 7, no, 8, no, 9, no, 10. 10, 11. Ooh, with 1, you see 11. We made some progress. So we have 1 0, but that doesn't help us. We need to get 2 zeros. It doesn't help. So, and this is the whole cryptographic puzzle everybody's talking about, is essentially brute force. So we're gonna sit down here and brute force it. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So is the nonce is a guessing, the block is a transaction, and out comes the hash. Correct. Every block you could just squash it down into 256 and get a hash. But the problem is the hash need to have a certain protocol. This is essentially proof of work I'm showing you here. This is how you could prove something has proof of work, because this number has to be found. You have to prove you did work to find this number. And obviously a computer could do this faster than I could do it. I just trying to prove a point. Okay, so look at this. 37, 0. 39, 0, but still not. Like 1, 2, 3. Funny enough, I proved my point already, but now I feel like I need to be satisfied by seeing the 2 zeros. Woo! What was that? Okay, no. That's not it. Woo! That was close. Yeah, now all the videos connecting. Yeah. Well, that's good. Because that's what I wanted it to feel like. Where we was? 45? 46, 47, 48, 49. Let's try it. 50, 51, 52, 53. This is what a miner would be doing. So when you hear what a mining network, it literally going through all these numbers, and it will be assigning people blocks of numbers essentially to go through. Wow. Look at how much work I am doing to find this. Look at how much work. I couldn't cheat that. I couldn't cheat it. Ooh, that was close there. I think that was 82, no, or 83. It was 50000, but not good enough. The 5 is messing every time. So this would have been a solid block by our, well, you know, 84, 85, 86, 87. 91, 82, 93, 94, 95, 96. You know, I was real hoping I would have found it by now. But now I'm feeling like... And you might not appreciate this, viewers, but every single hash that pop up here is completely unique. And we've never seen it before. Again, for anybody who's ever come up. Okay, so Devan, I was showcasing this to the to Aaron, and I could showcase it to you, right? So I was talking about how China hash rate drop, right? That's here. That's this here. And then I was explaining what a hash rate is. So big up to Devan showing up. The hash rate is essentially if you take up a block, right, of transactions. You have a block and then you give it a nonce and then you got a hash, right? So let's call this SHA-256 just to be precise. SHA. Oh. $256. So is it just to remember, right? We take in our block and we take in our nonce and we get a hash. So I was showing Iran here. Imagine we take Iran to Varun, Varun to Devan, Iran to Devan, right? This is some arbitrary transactions. Hey Kyle, what's up? Just to get you back on the on what we're doing. We showcasing how the hash rate is connected to the price and how we get that value. So we talk about how the hash rate in China drop, and I guess Aaron wanted to know how do you get this hash rate, essentially the hash rate per second. So I was saying, let's say you have a block of transactions, right? And this block of transactions, you would give it a nonce, you would hit the SHA-256 algorithm, and you would get a hash coming out, and this is essentially mining, right? So in my example mining, we're doing a human miner here. We create three Varun coin transactions, right? So Iran to Varun, Varun to Devan, Iran to Devan, right? And then what we're trying to do is get 2 zeros to appear in here. So let's see if I copy this, and let's bring up a text box. Oh, what is this? Stupid ads. Okay, so essentially what I'm saying is the only time this works is if the first two values here are 0. If the first two values aren't 0, then we have a problem. So over here you see the first two values is FE. Now, this might be even more difficult to explain, but I will try to do it. So 0 is 0. 0 is 0. 1 is 1. 2 is 2. This now. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna put an arrow. It makes more sense with an arrow. Now I'm gonna do dot dot dot. If we come down to 9, it will be 9. But when we want to do 10, we run out of characters to do 10. So A is 10, B is 11, C is 12, D is 13, A, B, C, D, E is 14, and A, B, C, D, E, F is 15. So I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with this. This is called hexadecimal. Yeah, hex. So this is why you see in these numbers, you see sometimes you see C and you see D, and you're just like, well, why it have letters and numbers? That is because this here is hex, right? Now essentially what we mean here, 2 zeros in the start. So what the nonce is, right? Imagine we had this block here, and I was showing Iran this. We went through a lot so far. We have this here, and when we do the hash, this is what we get. But we need the numbers in the front here to be 2 zeros. So what could we add to the block to make it 2 zeros? So what we added is our nonce. Now you can see this is the nonce we have here. This is the nonce, and this is our hash. But this hash still doesn't satisfy our criteria. So what we're doing is we continuously going through this here. And what I'm doing here is proof of work. This is, they always talk about that magical let's say, algorithm that miners are doing. This is all that miners are doing. They're brute forcing this. And it's super important to understand. Look, I'm looking for 2 zeros. I'm able to find 1 0 here. But 1 0 is not enough. I need 2 zeros. So, and look at me. I'm just brute forcing. I've been brute forcing a long time now, just trying to find 2 zeros at the start. Aaron can tell you. But that's because I just want to show. Oh, so look, this has 2 C's. But it's still not 2 zeros. So I am proving, and guess what? There's no mathematical way to find those 2 zeros. The only way to do it is to keep trying. So you would see that we get A0, but not good enough. So I'm gonna keep trying this until I get 2 zeros. Oh god. Now you could create a program easily to manage this, but I kind of wanted to show all the hard work in terms of brute forcing to get it. Because everybody always talk about the, let's say, the special program or whatever that Bitcoin has. Or the special solution that's solving the puzzle, the cryptographic puzzle. But most people don't really know what that is. And right now you're learning exactly what that is. Is sending a SHA-256 off our block and basically putting it in. So let's see if we could get it. I'm gonna try a couple. We got super close already. Damn. So I have actually tried 200 numbers so far and still didn't find it yet. Okay, so think about this now. I probably doing, I'd say probably 1 hash a second. Probably. Or 2 hashes a second. So that's my hash rate. Me, I actually typing it in. My hash rate is 2 hash a second. I'm trying to connect you guys to the hash rate, to a miner, to what that value is. I'm trying to prove this block. So this block hasn't been mined yet. This block is only mined when there's 2 zeros at the start. Okay. We see we got 1 0 there again. Yeah, this is a Vern powered miner. Very poor miner. Very oh, is that it? What was the number? What was the number? I just missed it. Chat, what was the number? Aaron, what number? What was my last number? What was my last number I was on? Oh, you'll see it? Oh no. Somebody could just pull it back on the video and see if you could find what the number was. Oh no, let me see. What was the last number I was on? I think I was around 220. So let me start back at 220. 221. 22. 4, 5, 6, 8, 7. Bro, I swear we pass it. I swear. Oh no, oh no. Okay. Okay, so computers usually have good memory. Alright, we just keep chugging along. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. I didn't get it apparently. Maybe I didn't get it. Oh, there's it. This is it. Celebration, guys. We got it. This block here is a valid block because it passed my criteria. So now we could say this block here is a valid block. So we could put this, if we were to put this block together, we could say essentially block hash boom. Oh no, this is the transactions. Block transactions, and then we could put the block transactions, and then we could say block hash, and then we could copy this here. And guess what? This now could be sent to be mined. And not to mine. This technically now has been mined. If you understand what I'm saying. This is a valid block. And that is a confirmation. I hope in this bring together the concept of what is mining and what is hashing. I wanted to show the proof of work. I just proved I did work. Imagine if it was 3-0. So when people talk about the mining difficulty and how mining getting harder, that means more computers get into the network, more Varoons hitting that SHA-256, right? And what happens is they say, okay, well, instead of 2 zeros, make it 3 zeros. Actually, you know what? Make it 4 zeros. Actually, you know what? Make it 5 zeros. Actually, you know what? Make it 6 zeros. This is proof of work. So I wanted to bring the concept of what happened. So when we come to this whiteboard here, oh no, that's here. Whew, I thought I'd lose my whiteboard. This is what you call proof of work. Let me get up my black here. So yeah, there's a lot of huge environmental concerns about proof of work, but you have to understand how vital proof of work is. You cannot copy proof of work. You can't cheat proof of work. You actually have to put in your work to find it. So let's go on a block explorer. Let's try to find the latest block. So this should be the latest block 18 minutes ago. Let's look at the hash. Look at the hash. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's 19 zeros it had to get. Let's look at the nonce. This is the nonce here. This is million, billion. You had to try 2.9 billion hashes to find it, to find a nonce that would give you 19 zeros at the start. I just hope you guys could appreciate that. You're probably gonna have to wait, I would say, 30 lifetimes, probably. 30 to 40 lifetimes. But I just want to get, and probably Kyle, Devan, you guys probably less into the actual coding or anything. So I wanted to know if you guys get appreciation for proof of work. If you could just write something in the chat just to get an idea. Well, I didn't get any response from them, but Aaron, you get a value. Okay, so Devan get a value, right? So the whole point I was trying to prove is to get this block is super, super difficult. Now what happens? So we want to bring this relevancy here into here. How this link to China? So essentially, the hash rate in China dropped significantly. Now what happens is it takes about 2 weeks for the hash rate to be adjusted, the difficulty of the hash rate to be adjusted. Hey, T0, no problem. I was actually just explaining how proof of work works. So just to give you a quick overview, it'd probably be better if you actually rewatch this video later, but just to give you a simple overview. And this will be like almost a recap for everybody watching. Our actual hash of our block. We're talking about the crash, right? And the crash was related to China and the hash rate on the network dropping. So how do we get the hash rate? We want to know, well, how much times you could hash something per second. And literally what happens is you take the block of transactions, you give it a nonce, right? You do SHA-256 and you get a hash out, right? And this is what people call mining. Now I actually pretty much hand mined. I literally actually put these transactions here, and then I actually went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I actually literally went through all the numbers, 247 numbers one by one, till I got a hash with 2 zeros in the start. I indicated that is, to me, what is a proper protocol. Well, the video is always available. But the idea is that I had to prove I did work. That's proof of work. Now, getting back to this now, where's the value in that? How is it important? What happens is when you have proof of work and you have the hash rate dropping, that means, remember, I showed you here, an actual block has 19 zeros to get published on the Bitcoin network right now. This is what people call the difficulty adjustment. So there's a difficulty level, and this is kind of almost a fabric of Bitcoin, where there's a pulse to Bitcoin, and it measures how often Bitcoin blocks are being mined. And on average, it wants 10 minutes. It wants every block to be on average 10 minutes from each other. Now, if Bitcoins are being mined faster than 10 minutes, let's say the average is going to 5 minutes, it would increase this difficulty, so it make it harder. But what's going to happen is if all the computing power on the network is dropping, so let's kind of sectionize this. We're gonna use pink, right? So I'm gonna, let's say, call this BTC compute, or let's say global hash. Global hash. So the global hash rate of the network, this is the network here, it is going down. And artificially so. But what happens is that the difficulty takes about 2 weeks to get adjusted. So the Bitcoin network isn't going to be able to adjust fast enough to counteract this. And that's a design. They want Bitcoin to be slow and arduous. But what's going to happen is Bitcoin blocks are going to take very, very long to mine. Because remember, I showed you, we have 19 zeros here. But instead of having, let's say, I'm going to use arbitrary numbers here. Let's say we had, we was using Varun miners. So let's say we had 100% of the mining capacity that we had on a day. It went to 50%, right? If it went to 50%, then instead of the blocks being about 10 minutes, on average it might go to 20, 30 minutes. Because now the same computation of 19 zeros here fall on less computers. So a pool of computers, like let's say a smaller pool of computers, 50% less computers have to do all the work, have to do all the mining. And what's gonna happen is that's gonna take these Bitcoin blocks are gonna take super long. So people realize, And they know that if there's a drop in the global hash rate, one, blocks are going to take super long to mine, right? And then two, if the miners who have been pulled off the network and are no longer on the network have gone, then maybe, so let's use a pie chart. A pie chart might be able to represent this well. So this is the 100% of miners, right? And let's say it was split like this, right? This is obviously not how Bitcoin is, but let's say this was 40% of the miners. And this is 30%. And this is 20%, right? And you all know about the dreaded 50% attack, right? 50% attack. If any miner has more than 50% of the network, they can attack it. So we don't want this. We want to avoid this. We want to avoid this at all costs. Ooh. No. We don't want to avoid that. But what happens if, let's say, all these miners, this entire block of miners goes offline? Let's say this was all the Chinese. All the Chinese went offline, right? Then essentially your new pie chart going to be 40 and 20 gonna be everything. So your new pie chart going to be what's that? This would essentially 20% would be this, and 40% would become, would it be 80 20, or would it be, what would be the new numbers? I think it would be 40 over 100 multiplied by is it? What would that be? Because it will be 40 and 20, and we have a 60% remaining. So it would be 60% split by 40-20. So 40% are 60. Yeah. What is 40% of 60? We'll just get out my calculator. 0.4 multiplied by 60 is 24. So it's going to be 24 plus 640, it'll be 64. So this would be 64%. And this would be, what's this, 36%? Chatter, right about that? 24, right, cool. So basically, right. So you all see what I have here, right? Essentially, this chart here, let's try to color code this here. So this is pink, and this is blue, and this here would be blue, and this would be pink. So essentially, what I'm trying to say here, math stuff, especially off the cuff. Like for me, it's 11:40 in the night, so I'm pretty tired. But anyway, essentially, this 40%, which was below the 50, so this was below the 50. I say less than 50, but this here is more than the 50. So I don't know if you all seeing, but the global hash rate and us removing a complete sector of the hash rate actually destroy the security momentarily of Bitcoin.
Some guy called Peter managed to jump a skipping rope over 12,000.
So I just want any confirmations from the chat if that makes sense. Oh, the face. Okay. Let me just. Sorry about that. I kind of messed up. Okay, my face blocking are a real important part of the chat. Wait, okay, tell me if you guys seeing. Okay, Kyle have it. Aaron have it. Okay, cool. Alright, so we'll continue some more now. Let's pan to the side. I'll put back on my face just so y'all can see my sweet sweet face. Okay, boom. I'm back. Now we in seeing your face. Nah, we back. So essentially, I trying to get to how you get to our crash, right? So let's use this to thing. So now we clear that we have two main things. Let me see if I put it in text here. The two main problems is blocks immediately take longer to mine, and we actually physically went through the experiment of mining in person. So we all okay, I spelled this wrong. Immediately, is that it? How do I fix that? That's it. Yeah. Block immediately take longer to mine. So let's call this new problem numero uno. This is 1, and then problem 2 is. Let me put back on the music. Add finish. Yeah. Oh crap. Network becomes less secure because new percentage allocation of mining compute power. So this is the two main reasons why let's say investor would be worried, right? So this is happening. Blocks are taking longer to mine, and the network is less secure. So what happens is investors would have bots, and these bots would be, let's say, looking at the hash rate, and whenever it sees the hash rate drops dramatically, it's going to immediately go to something like, let's say, Binance or Kraken or whatever, and sell Bitcoin. Sell BTC. So people have automated bots to do this, right? If it sees the price of Bitcoin crashing, just sell the Bitcoin, because that could mean something is very bad is happening. Maybe Bitcoin get hacked, some bullshit like that, right? So sell the Bitcoin, right? And what happens is there are people who is trading on margin. So I'm not sure if how familiar you guys are with margin trading, but essentially margin trading is essentially like a seesaw, right? If you put your finger on this, you could use leverage, and you could make way more money. So you could make 1x, but that's boring. What about 2x? What about 3x? What about 10x? And I'm gonna simply explain that. So essentially, if you had $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, right? And Bitcoin goes up by 5%, right? You essentially make $50. $50, that's trash. You don't wanna make $50. You wanna make more than $50, right? $50 don't wake you up off a bed, right? $50. So you say here what? I gonna do let's say you do no, let's say 10%. Let's say you do 10%. So we make the maths easier on we brain. You know how we brain kind of doing it too well right now. Let's red. So 10%, and you get 50. You would get 100 US now. Let me erase this. This would be 100 US. But let's say no, I want to make way more money than that. I good with $50. That's 50 years. You know how much doubles you can fire that? That's very right, Kyle. And you see, that's because you're playing it safe. But if you listen to people like BitBoy Crypto, he would say, how about you use about 10x leverage? So if you go 10x leverage, that means when Bitcoin goes up 10%, you make 100%. God, what is going on with my handwriting? Oh God, I know what happened again. my face blocking it. So let's move it across. So there's 100% here, right? But what that means is if Bitcoin goes up to 100%, that means you make 2K, right? But if Bitcoin goes down by 10%, you make a negative 100%, right? So you make 0K. You make, actually don't make 2K, you make negative 1K, which means you're left with 0K. So I just want to know if you all catch that. That makes sense or that doesn't make sense? Maybe I should do a cleaner version of this. Okay, cool. Right. So essentially, this is what you call margin trading. But what happens in Bitcoin is there are people who are seriously over leveraged. So they would be trading their Bitcoin on like 100x leverage, right? Which means if Bitcoin goes up 1%, they double their money. Exactly. Kylie, correct. They're gonna get wrecked because Bitcoin is crashing. If we watch here now, so the fundamentals went through, the blocks immediately take longer, and the networks become less serious. People, these people with these bots here, oh God, they dumping Bitcoin. Oh God, dumping BTC. But when they dumping BTC, the price of BTC crashing. But guess what? The people who over leverage, they get what you call a margin call. Margin call. So what a margin call is essentially is almost like what would happen long time is the Wall Street would call you and they would be like, hey Kyle, so you see that money you had on leverage? Yeah, well it went negative and you actually have, instead of having money, you have zero money and negative money. So we do that margin call and we taking all your money. So margin calls will cause a lot of Bitcoin to just be immediately dumped onto the market, because this, what happens is the sellers, to open this contract, you would allocate Bitcoins to create this this leverage trade, right? This margin trade. And then they would get margin call and they get wrecked. So the people on Binance, they are dumping BTC. So they start the wrecking, right? Then there's margin calling and then they get wrecked. And then next on the line is it would have people, right? So in let's say on your trading site, this is your USD and this is time. So whoa Vicard, what's up? So this is your graph here of a trading site. This is something like Binance. And what happens here is these people are getting wrecked. Then these people are getting wrecked. And it will have people on Binance. They would have buy Bitcoin at, let's say, 55,000. And they would have a stop loss. And you guys could tell me in the chat if you know what a stop loss is. They would have a stop loss and say, let's say, no, they buy at 63. Because that's what, let's just use real world examples. So Bitcoin was around 63 at that time. So people would have buy at 63. And then they say, here what? if Bitcoin goes below 60k, sell my BTC for me. Sell BTC. So this is an automated thing you could do. This is an automated thing you could do within something. Oh God, I'm blocking it again. Let me see if I can zoom out. So just to go through again, right? Let's go through. So you have China hash rate dropping. We explain proof of work. Then we show the global hash rate dropping. I showed you guys how we have a pie chart of percentages here, and then an entire block of miners go long. So then you probably could get the 50% attack. So you have blocks immediately taking longer to mine, and then you have the network less secure by computation. So then you have those people who monitor that network and they immediately dump their bitcoins and get wrecked. And then they have the people who traded on margin and they get wrecked because of the dumped bitcoin, right? And they get margin call. That causes the price to drastically drop, right? But then what happens is there are people on Binance or on Kraken, and they have stop losses. And this stop loss will eventually get triggered because of the dumping and the margin calls. The stop loss get triggers, and if essentially a block, entire blocks of BTC would just be sold off because of stop losses. So if we want to see what a stop loss look like, let's look at something as simple as Coinbase Pro. Ooh, wrong thing. I don't want to sign up. I do sign up for centralized services. We all know that. JK. Right. So if we look at this, right? Look at the price of Bitcoin at any point, right? So this is, oh Jesus Christ, we just had a drop there, boy. Okay, so this is the spread, right? This is known as spread. But so we could see they have prices here at 49. I have prices here at 51, but if I keep zooming out, look at all these blocks. It have people who have orders that will sell Bitcoin at 19,000. I mean, buy at 1913. They have orders to buy. Orders to sell. So they will immediately sell if Bitcoin reaches price. And people will immediately buy if Bitcoin is at this price. So if Bitcoin is immediately drastically going up, immediately buy. And if Bitcoin is immediately dropping, sell Bitcoin. So these are limit buy and limit sell orders. But the idea here is just that people have them pre-packaged and basically sitting down waiting. But when this whole thing is crashing, so you have Bitcoin dumping, then you have margin calls happening, you have a flash crash, and people who have stop losses, they immediately get wiped out. So essentially Binance will be like, hey, I remember you had a record say that you wanted your Bitcoin sold when the price reaches this price. So how about we sell it now? And essentially those three things create a waterfall effect. And everybody get rickety wreck. But you ain't get wrecked. Hodler gang in it for the long game. Yeah, so hodlers, they keep their crypto off of exchanges. They don't participate in this trading game. So they say, hand me that Bitcoin, I'm going to put this on a hardware wallet, and it doesn't matter what's the price of Bitcoin, I will sell when I want to sell. So hodlers tend to not get wrecked. It's the people who directly on the live trading, they get wrecked. I guess you could get wrecked if you buy at a hodling and then the price drop below, but remember they're playing long game, as Aaron said. I don't know if you guys understand what I said, but let me just kind of like draw that out in simplistic terms again. You know how I love to simplify things for you. So it had the electrical crisis in China, and then from that we had a drop in hash rate, hashes per second drop, which caused a dump, which caused our margin calls. and then you had stop loss blocks. Jesus Christ. I don't know if this makes sense to everybody. I just hoping you guys could just give me a thumbs up and say yeah. Yeah, but it making sense, but you won't get this problem with a Vern hashing system. Vern hashing drop might be if eating a bar double. So that is correct. There will be a drastic drop in hash rate. And I hope this creates some value in the sense of you understand why it crashed. Like how does something physically happening on the Bitcoin network in the real world affect the price? And I just wanted to show how the price could drop so far is because of those chain of events. The electrical outing causing a drop in hash rate, causing a reduction in security, which would cause people confidence in Bitcoin to drop, so people would dump it because they think Bitcoin gonna die. Then the dumping of Bitcoin causes margin calls, and the margin calls causes a triggering of stop loss blocks, and then yeah, people just get wrecked. Alright, cool. And maybe hopefully you all enjoy me manually mining on Bitcoin with a SHA-256. Okay, you see in the matrix? Okay, that's great. Maybe I should redo this with an actual presentation, maybe sometime in the future. You guys could let me know if I should redo this with like actual presentation slides. But I kind of wing this one today. Question, is it if Vern is Morpheus or Neo? Would I be? I would be Morpheus because I am handing out the pills, right? You guys are Neo, and I am here. Do you want the red pill or you want the blue pill? I actually like the Alex Becker setup. Alex Becker, yes. Shave your head with the EWW board. Hey, he loved to pull out the EWW board. A small 5-minute. I should definitely look into doing 5-minute videos about specific topics that you guys found was super valuable. Because sometimes I don't know which videos you guys find was super valuable versus which one was kind of, a waste of time. I could shave my head, but I shaved my head once before and I look terrible. Maybe I'll show you. I'll put that as let's say a clickbait title, with my shaved head. I'll definitely think about doing that. Like take a picture of me with my shaved head and put it as a thumbnail. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks. This is essentially my question section of the video usually, but I kind of winging it. Reacting to the crash. It have this guy who's always be on Bitcoin. Let's see if I can find him. Crypto. His thumbnails, boy. Let's look for Crypto. Let's just take a appreciative look at this man Bitcoin thumbnails. Don't sell your Bitcoins. You all want me to make any thumbnails like this? That's crazy. I do want to be having what he having. Or get some gun to do the shape generator for you. That's actually super, interesting. Well, I'm glad that you guys like this video and kind of like the EWW board, and maybe I will use it in the future, if I see it fit, because maybe you guys like appreciate me like actually doing the calculation live and maybe actually drawing the arrows and showing the thought processes and the gaps in the knowledge, And I'm hoping you guys appreciate it from the sense that like you guys feel like you understanding Bitcoin better. All right, nice. So Kyle definitely say is like actually showing like this is a thought, there's a arrow, there's a next thought, and going through a process that it makes it very easy to understand. So yeah, maybe I'll incorporate this more based on the actual topic. All right, guys. Well, we're streaming for a bit, so if anything, I'll probably like what do you call this thing? Let slide. Is it? Where's my music? Oh, I have to tell everybody to like the video. Okay, guys, like the video if you feel like I brought you some value. Hit like or hit subscribe and leave a comment. You know, we're building crypto community, entertainment, and education, and hopefully in the future this will be very useful. Maybe nobody will watch it now, but I definitely think in the future it could be of extreme value. So, Ghostly Gaming. Hey, thanks. New names in the chat. Loving it. You know, we have the steady group of people who comes every week, and then we have new people who coming in every so often, and I love it. So, thanks so much again, guys, for everybody who come out, and I'll hopefully see you guys next week. So, enjoy and take care. Signing out.